Grand Theft Auto 4: The Ballad of Gay Tony adds colour to Liberty City's grey atmosphere, with a thrilling story about the pursuit of excess and one man's struggle to navigate the chaos of those around him. My name is One Hip, and thanks for clicking on this video. I'm playing through Rockstar's HD era in my current series, and in this one, I'll be exploring the dazzling conclusion to a city that has many stories to tell.
Theirs ain't gonna be the tallest tower for long. Yusuf's in town, baby!
Released on October 29th, 2009 as an Xbox 360 exclusive, before heading to the PS3 and PC, The Ballad of Gay Tony tells the story of Luis Lopez, an ex-con and Liberty City local given an opportunity to move into the city's high life by nightclub owner Tony Prince. While considered a business partner to Tony, Luis often finds himself relegated to the role of a bouncer, performing the hands-on work required to keep Hercules and Masonette 9 running smoothly. Tony's recklessness and dealings with Liberty City's organised crime groups soon embroil him in financial trouble, and with the help of a few eccentric characters, Luis must keep the wolves at bay while navigating the strain placed on his friendship with Tony. As well as dealing with Tony's growing list of problems, Luis also helps his childhood friends Armando and Henrique build their drug empire, while assisting his mother with her troubles involving a local loan shark. Everyone seems to depend on Luis, forcing him to juggle his personal and professional life while navigating Liberty City's high society. What I liked most about Luis was how grounded and self-aware he is, being able to see through the facade of everyone he interacts with. From sarcastically going along with requests from made men like Rocco Pelosi, to mocking mob bosses like Ray Bulgarin on the phone, Luis brings a refreshing perspective to GTA.
Shit, I think the signal's dropping, man. Later, bro.
He even admits unironically that he's a psychotic killer, being aware of who he is, rather than putting on a mask like others in the story. Another facet of this expansion that I enjoyed. The ruthless Bulgarin who haunted Niko is shown in a very different light in The Ballad of Gay Tony, having regular arguments with his sister who lives with him, and being gleeful about his expensive guitar collection. Yusuf Amir is revered as an influential player through dialogue, but is revealed to be bankrolled by his wealthy father, who he's trying to gain approval from. And Brucey, being an alpha bro who talked tough in GTA 4, is constantly tormented by his older brother Maury, another person Tony is indebted to, and his true sexuality is revealed to Luis later in the story. Combined with an upbeat conclusion, and Luis's perspective of the diamond plot that ties the installments together, The Ballad of Gay Tony's story shows that underneath all that gold and glitter are broken people fighting for validation and status. And this compelling arc is reflected through an expanded arsenal and a bunch of new activities in this brighter version of an iconic city. Weapons are even bigger than in The Lost and Damned, with Luis being able to wield heavy and advanced guns, sticky bombs and grenade launchers, and my favourite, the automatic shotgun, complete with the option of explosive rounds for fast and effective crowd control, and they all feel awesome. These are essential for the game's missions, which have a nice variety to them but can get pretty tough at the end. Thankfully, checkpoints from The Lost and Damned appear here again to mitigate prolonged attempts. The game would also introduce mission replays after completing the main story, and borrowing from handheld exclusive GTA Chinatown Wars, a mission score system, both of which would appear later in GTA 5. For artillery, Armando is only a phone call away to supply Luis with these tools of destruction, and for anything fast or tough to drive, Henrique will deliver a car when Luis needs it, and there's some fun luxury vehicles to cruise around in. Each relationship deepens as Luis spends time with them, being able to play the traditional GTA 4 and Lost and Damned minigames, as well as heading to the driving range. When Luis is up for a fight, he can take part in underground cage matches, either as a combatant himself or by betting on the action. The Ballad of Gay Tony's main focus though is on Liberty City's bustling nightlife, and the game offers an array of activities for Luis to take part in when the sun goes down. Masonette 9 and Hercules are playgrounds for Liberty City partygoers, and Luis works and plays hard. He can boogie on the dance floor with a lady, culminating in a bus stop dance routine, and at Masonette 9 can be led to an intimate encounter in a quiet area, which replenishes Luis's health. These ladies can call Luis for future booty calls outside of the club. Knocking back shots and taking part in champagne drinking contests are more hedonistic pursuits, compared to what's seen at the Lost MC's clubhouse. And when Luis wants more order at Masonette 9, he can don bouncer gear and patrol the club to find troublemakers to throw out, while having even more romantic encounters with Johnny, the club's security manager. The Ballad of Gay Tony abandons the gritty late-night street fair seen in the other installments, to show a lighter and more colourful side to Liberty City's nightlife, one which can be a visual spectacle in the sky. Thanks to a course paid for by Tony, Luis can fly choppers to navigate the city, and he can rain death from above in the stolen buzzard, which is later painted gold by Yusuf. And to go with the Ballad of Gay Tony's high energy and over-the-top extravagance, Luis can base jump off buildings and out of choppers, with the return of parachuting to the series, giving this brighter world more verticality and a unique perspective of this sprawling city. Rockstar should be commended for how they transformed a city we were already familiar with, adding a vibrant colour palette to make the Ballad of Gay Tony feel like a completely different GTA game. The city comes alive at night with patrons lining up to enter clubs that are pumping disco and Eurodance bangers. Electro tracks mixed by crookers, featuring their own number called No Security in the final end mission sequence, can be heard on the in-car radio, along with expanded reggaeton and Latin hip-hop tracks, as well as more talkback segments. The Ballad of Gay Tony makes Liberty City feel like a place to live, rather than survive in, a stark contrast to the grit and grime from before. With a compelling protagonist in Luis, expanded gameplay mechanics, pioneering features to the series such as mission replays, updated playlists, and a more vivid perspective of Liberty City, the Ballad of Gay Tony brought colour to Liberty City's grey atmosphere, closing the HD trilogy on a brighter and more hopeful note. The Ballad of Gay Tony tied up the overarching plot that connected Niko, Johnny and Luis, making Liberty City feel like the main character. Niko's trauma and quest for revenge, and Johnny's loyalty and burden to keep his club together showed a grittier side to the city, one where it was a place to try and survive in. Luis's self-awareness and more grounded personality in a glamorous world hiding a broken facade felt refreshing, making Liberty City feel like a place to stay in after the end credits. To me, the final chapter in this saga feels like the GTA 4 that most players were hoping for, an over-the-top environment that didn't take itself too seriously. GTA 5 would borrow many features from the Ballad of Gay Tony, and for some, it could even be seen as a prototype for the landmark follow-up. On a technical level, Rockstar successfully brought the Rage engine to their flagship franchise, delivering realistic physics and character animations that made Liberty City feel more immersive than before. The expansions would eventually be bundled with GTA 4, first as episodes from Liberty City, and later the Complete Edition, cementing the idea that Liberty City itself was the main part of the narrative, with Niko, Johnny and Luis each experiencing different sides of the same world. The Ballad of Gay Tony closes that story on a hopeful and colourful note, proving that beneath Liberty City's loneliness, violence and excess was a city still full of life, and one worth returning to long after the credits roll.